I saw Underworld Blood Wars, and Charlie saw Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed. And
That's right.
And we're convincing Steve which one is better. So stick around for that.
I feel like if they've clicked on this, they're sticking around.
You never know, Steve.
5 seconds in, I'm out.
Oh, this guy.
Wow, ass. No, thank you. That's too high.
I don't understand the humor.
I was gonna say that's too highbrow for me. All right.
What the fuck is this podcast brought to you by The New Yorker?
Are you ready for Movie Versus? Welcome to Movie Versus, the podcast where we pin two terrible movies in an all-out battle for the best of the worst. Here are your hosts, Tyler Lamb, Charlie Pixley, and Steve Shannon. All on Movie Versus!
Hey everybody, my name is Tyler Lamb. This is Movie Versus, the podcast in defense of bad movies. I am joined, not by always, but right now, my co-host Steve Janik. Steve, how is it going?
Oh, it's going pretty well. I'm almost always. There's only been a couple times where
you
I've had to bail.
There's been at least once where you have not been here, so it's not always.
That's a good. I mean, I guess technically you are correct.
And from Mississippi, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Skyping in, Charlie Pixley. What is up, Chuck?
Nothing much, dude. I'm ready to be back, as always.
For those for the new listeners, we watch bad movies and try to act like they are good, and the third person tries to decipher which one may be better amongst our, piles of bullshit that we're spewing. And
I feel there's going to be a lot.
And this week I saw Underworld Blood Wars, which is the fifth installment in a movie which I have seen none of the previous.
I have seen at least one of them, but I could not tell you what happens.
and well, I bet you I could guess. Some vampires fought some werewolves.
And at least at some point, Kate Beckinsale wore a
black
outfit
trench
that
coat?
had to have been sprayed on her.
So think that'd be like if you just picked up Order of the Phoenix and read that and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, that would be awful.
Yeah, especially because Order of the Phoenix is a very meat and potatoes part of that storyline.
It's the longest book, if I am not mistaken. It's the longest book, but the shortest movie, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I don't know. Someone out there is like, it is 792 pages.
They're slamming their gavel on their dashboard in the car right now. No, sir. And Charlie, you saw Assassin's Creed, the newest Michael Fassbender joint, and you know what? Let's just get right to it, Steve. Steve, what are the questions? What do you got for us? Let's get it going. Let's get the show on the road, as they say.
All right, so we'll start with Charlie. Charlie,
okay.
give me the quick rundown of your movie. I
think a lot of people that would listen to our podcast are probably loosely familiar with the game, but I'll go over it briefly. So it's about two orders throughout history that are trying to take over.
But also remember, Charlie, I have not played a single Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, I know, but you still know some of it, though. So it's like two orders that have fought throughout history trying to take control.
Well, because the Templars are actually a real historical.
I actually did not know there were two orders. I just thought it was like a group of assassins doing things.
Only similar in name, though, really. So
yeah.
Knights Templar and then the assassins. The Knights Templar are all about like a global order and forcing people to not behave, but like. Having like one big order and stuff, and assassins are more about the individual liberty and stuff like that, and you got to be free and do your own thing, even if it leads to some bad stuff. And it's all about finding these ancient relics that have certain powers to them, and kind of the balance of who has them at certain times, and then throughout history the power shifts back and forth. So then this movie is about one of the guys who has assassins in his bloodline, like deep throughout his history. And this company that the Templars own called Abstergo, they have this new machine called Animus. And with this, they can take somebody and via their DNA go and relive their ancestors' memories. And they're using this to try and figure out where this one artifact called the Apple of Eden is located. So they're like the modern Templars, and this guy, Michael Fassbender's character, whose name is Callum Lynch.
That is a
Dark
strong
name.
action name.
Of course, his name is Callum Lynch. Like us.
Carter Callum Lynch.
Jesus.
Snake.
Pliskin.
Yeah. So he doesn't know anything about any of this because his parents were killed and all that
Vietnam?
whole thing, or at least
Oh.
that's what he thinks. And
Oh my god.
they want to. He's like one of the last descendants of an actual assassin, not somebody that just like joined up in the creed who didn't have ancestors in it, but one of the direct descendants where each one of his ancestors was an assassin. So he has memories going all the way back through history. And now the Templars are trying to use him to figure out where this apple is. And it goes into, with the modern day, whether, which side is actually right.
Right.
Because they both bring up valid points.
So out of curiosity, is he just working with them, or are they forcing him in some way, or is he voluntarily helping the Templars instead of the Assassins for some reason?
So it kind of flips back and forth. So he's in Texas in the beginning of the movie, and he's being put to death for a crime he committed. He killed the guy that he thinks killed his mother. And in Texas, they have the death penalty. So he's going and he's getting the lethal injection. Then he wakes up in Abstergo, that company owned by the Templars. And they say, like, hey, we snuck you out of there, yada, yada. Because now you're off the books. Like, you're dead to everybody else, but we have you now. But this isn't a prison. You can leave if you want, but here's the stuff we want to do. We want to help you out, help you. You're going a little bit crazy from the stuff that they injected him with, and they want to help him figure out these kind of things that are happening to him.
Well, and if it's like the first game, you don't know that Abstergo is the modern day Templars.
Oh, okay.
So they're just like, hey, help us out with this. We're doing it for good. And then like throughout the thing, you realize like,
it's the
yeah.
Templars. Okay.
Yeah. Because the main Abstergo lady is Marion Cotillard, or however you say her name, French lady. I'll just say Talia from now on. She really is like the scientist of it, and you can tell there's even a line in the movie at one point where
she says, "I'm the scientist of all of it."
Her father, Jeremy Irons, is like the head of the Templars, and he says that like you were always first a scientist and second a Templar. So she really is out to do it for good.
Okay.
And to just learn more about humanity and everything.
Gotcha.
And can I just ask a side question? It doesn't really matter for Steve's thing. So you said that it's a new, like they have a new thing called the Animus. Where does this fall in line as far as the games go? Because I know it's supposed to be the same universe. Does it?
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that. Like I know they even explicitly said it. I went into it thinking this isn't, and
there was nothing that told you like. There's nothing that told you that it's like set in a certain spot within the universe.
No, I don't think so. Especially because Animus is so different.
Yeah,
than what it is
and
in the
it
game.
is
actually a vast improvement to me. I thought it was very cool.
It is
very
different.
Well done.
It is different game to game. I know it kind of changes come Black Flag. It's more of a like virtual reality kind of system, whereas in the first three, it's like a machine that you sit in.
Kind of like one of those
it's like
chairs
a
in the Matrix.
Yeah. In the first three, it's like a bed, but I know in Black Flag, I think it's more of a like virtual reality thing where it's like, oh, okay, I put on this thing and I'm in this time. So yeah, I was just curious as to the time.
So in this one, it's set up like you go into this room and it has this huge mechanical arm from above, and it grabs you by your waist from behind. It's real sensual, like Unchained Melody plays in the background, and a spike goes into it. A spike goes into like your spine, like Matrix style.
Right.
And then it allows you to perform all the actions. So if you start running really fast, it'll let you run in the arena for a while, but you can't keep going indefinitely, or else you just hit a wall or the arm
picks
would
you
max
up
out.
off the ground
So
and lets you.
it picks you up, so you can still do the running action in the air, and then like you can jump, and it'll you'll go up with your jump, and then it'll just move you back down, so you can keep doing it. So you're really getting like that sensation of going through the physical motions while you see everything,
and that makes
like
more sense for like a film standpoint for sure.
And actually, it was really cool, and they use like these lights, these spotlights, all the way around it to project, like help disorient you, so then you're more accepting of what you're seeing as opposed to if you're just in a room.
Okay.
Whereas if they're disorienting you, then your mind can more take over. You rely more on what your mind sees.
All right. Okay.
Oh, am I up now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Tyler, same question. Give me the I was just getting distracted because you were scratching your neck, and somewhere in there I was like, yeah, I should probably ask you a question. So so Tyler, tell me a little bit about your movie, Underworld Blood Wars.
Yeah, that's the title of the movie. So apparently in the past movie, she had a child with a. I was kind of. It was some exposition at the very start that. I think if I knew, I had not seen I mean, we all know I have not seen a single Underworld movie.
You've made it abundantly clear.
Yeah, I think that I think it would have been a little bit clear to me because I mean it was one of those exposition things that almost seemed like, oh hey, if you've seen any of these before,
did they do a Star
we're just
Wars
kind of
crawl?
doing a brush up. No, they didn't. We're just kind of doing a brush up, but also if you've never seen any of these, we're giving you the gist of what's going on.
Yeah, well,
so
the whole thing was in the throwing ninja stars, like
oh my God.
in text. Yeah, it was hard to read. It was just spinning.
extremely hard to read.
Can we get that as a font?
Throwing ninja star font?
Like on Word, just like you type the words, just like spinning on paper.
No, please no.
Well, my resume is in.
You just throw them at the possible job. And so basically, she has a child that is her child is the first pure blood lycan vampire mix.
Real honey
I don't know
boo-boo.
that you
Yeah.
can call that a pure blood.
No, as in there have been I know no, but as in there have been mixes before,
No,
but
I
she's the first one that is actually like
50-50, like straight up
yeah,
50-50.
she is born. She was not like, oh, I'm a vampire, and then I got tainted with blood. She was born half and half.
Okay.
So she's like the first 100%. So she's got this. There's something special about her blood. And of course, there's always a lycan vampire war going on.
Yes.
And so they're trying to find Kate Beckinsale's daughter to be like, hey, we need her blood.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
Renesmee.
Yeah, Renesmee. They're trying to find her. Fuck you. They're trying to find her, but Kate Beckinsale made sure she was like, "Hey, you need to go away, and I cannot know where you are. So, like, bye." And so they keep coming to her, and they're like, "Where is she?" And she's like, "I don't know." And they're like, "You liar!" And she's like, "No,
Please tell me that's a majority of the
honestly
movie.
don't
It's just
know."
She must be in another movie franchise because there's no way I know where she is.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, who's the daughter? Like, is she another?
Oh, she's nobody.
Okay.
And so the movie is about that, and she's so it's kind of like the lycans and the vampires kind of come into a head where the vampires are like, hey, we should hire we should forgive Beckinsale for like the past shit she's done to some vampires because she should train these vampires to help kill the lycans who are going to attack our only, like, one of our only remaining covens. They're going to come to this, head where we're going to be fucked. And it's about it's really just about all that coming together and people wanting power over one another, trying to control the coven.
Always.
Yeah,
in
there's
these movies,
there's
there's like the person that's like, I'm in second place, but I should be in first
Oh
place.
yeah, there's
I
at
need
least
to take down 5 people.
there's at least 2 stories of collusion, and I
expect nothing less from vampire movies.
And there are multiple covens. There's a lot of action set pieces. There's a lot of different. They do a good job. There's 2 main covens that they go to, and they do a good job of differentiating the 2. Like, one's in the kind of Northern Lights area is that Ireland where the Northern Lights are, or is that Iceland.
A couple different spots up there.
Yeah, it's somewhere
Some
up.
Nordic crap.
Yeah, it's somewhere up there, and they get up there and they some Nordic crap, and they they get up there, and that's where one of the main.
Please note,
covenants
we love all the
and,
Nords.
And there's just a lot, and there's people want Kate Beckinsale's blood as well. Some of the vampires in the main coven want her blood because she is so powerful for some reason. I don't really know exactly why, just because I haven't seen the past ones.
Right.
But I know
It's because she uses 2 guns.
that's probably why. But there's a scene where they walk in the sunlight, and this vampire sees that they walk in the sunlight and they don't get killed, and she's like, "Oh shit, I need that blood."
I mean, to be fair, that would be like real exciting to be a vampire.
no.
Like, oh, we can go outside as vampires.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh boy, I want this blood ASAP."
So,
I can.
do we
use
ever meet the do we ever see the daughter in this movie? Does it?
it. Not really in this movie.
So that means we're gonna get another one.
Well, she's shown, and the last scene in the movie is the daughter approaching Kate Beckinsale. But I think that it's I think the daughter was more present in the previous movie. Given the flashbacks and exposition that
Right.
I saw, it made sense that.
To be fair, that question was to gauge whether or not we're getting number 6.
Oh yeah, no, 6 is on the way, and
Awesome.
I'm bankrolling it myself. So after seeing
And the title will be?
Underworld, the daughter's back.
Now you're gonna be in trouble.
That's yeah. Underworld, the
With
daughter's.
Ellen John's The Bitch is Back as the main theme.
Well, Ellen Page is going to be the daughter in this one. If I'm bankrolling it, we're recasting. And
There you go.
so Ellen Page is going to be the daughter. You know what? Emma Stone is taking Kate Beckinsale's place. And
I thought you were going to say June Squibb again.
and it's going to be a musical dance number.
Sounds good.
I like where this is going. No problems here.
So yeah, that's about it. That's all I got for this one.
All right, so similar.
And, well, it's set for Broadway, too. My bad.
yeah.
Well, that's where it's going to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It'll win a few Tonys, and then it'll get adapted to a film.
right. So similar to the horror block that we did back in the day, these movies both also I expect to have some pretty good kills. So we're gonna start with Charlie. Charlie, tell me a little bit about the kills in your movie.
I mean, you got open skin on your body. It's going to get stabbed. There's a scene where this, like, huge-looking barbarian guy, he's like the kind of character in a video game that would carry a huge hammer, like that guy from God of War 2 or whatever.
On board.
He's just the standard guy with a massive ponytail. It's like the size of my arm. And he's
So not that
taking
big.
these hidden blades. Steve, I'm sure you know the hidden blades. That's the assassin's weapon where they can like flick their wrists up and then the little blades shoot out.
The like
And
wrist blade thing.
he like swipes in front of him and cuts this dude's stomach open so there's just blood like and then he stabs him into like his clavicles and then he gets him. He like punches him multiple times with it, and I mean he fucks this dude up.
Wait,
and he's
what?
just sitting there
Oh,
bleeding
he
the
fucks
whole
him up.
time looking at him.
I thought you just stopped after you said he fucks this dude, and I was like, what?
So how why is he fighting this guy? Like where did they
dude
when
up?
did they
Did
meet
it not
this?
pick that up?
No, you said up, but it was a little bit after you said he fucks this
gotcha,
dude, and you
gotcha.
started laughing, and you said up, and I was like, oh, wait, what?
Yeah, dude. Third hidden blade.
It's not hidden. But
Let me think of some other ones.
I thought
A
you
lot
were
of
going to
people-
say like
a lot
was
of
it
people
hidden?
burned
Could I
to
see
death.
it the whole time?
Jeremy Irons at the end does get his
Kills himself?
throat
Oh.
completely slit in front of a huge group of people because he sneaks up to him in traditional assassin style
Yeah.
where he's just like pushing people out of the way and everybody's so focused on Jeremy Irons' character. And it shows him just go up to him behind him, take the thing and just and I mean just blah 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 blah. It's yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot of that sound effect that occurs in this movie.
A lot of assassinating in this movie.
Yeah.
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah.
So in there are a couple things I'd like to bring to the forefront. And Underworld Blood Wars. So there's a scene where one of the
Surprisingly, no blood.
The
No blood in this film at all.
the main chick of the head coven is wanting to essentially kind of blackmail Kate Beckinsale to be like, oh, she's killing everybody, she's untrustworthy. So she brings her in to train everybody, but then she kind of traps her into this like cage fighting area, and she has everybody killed around her. And Kate Beckinsale can't do anything about it. So then everybody's like, oh, shit. But they shoot all these recruits, but they shoot them with UV bullets. So the second that since it's like...
What is this, Blade 3?
Well, no, I mean, it's kind of cool, though, because
it disinfects them.
Since it's like the UV light or whatever,
right.
they just like disintegrate the second the bullet hits them. So it's like all these bodies just like turning into dust. And the guys, and the final boss battle between the main Lycan guy and Kate Beckinsale, she gets behind him and just hand punches through his back and pulls out his entire spine. And nice. Just stands there holding his spine. And he's like, of course, like, falls to the ground. She's just still standing there.
NetherRealms is currently suing.
And she drops it. She drops it. And then the next shot is like her holding his severed head in front of everybody who's fighting. Like, the war is over. Your leader is dead.
Wait, so
leave.
So when she pulls his spine out, he like stays there for a second?
Well, it's one. I mean, he's he's against a wall.
Oh, okay. No, because like in my head,
shut up,
like, like honestly, I was just trying to like you think about it. Like, you pull it out, and, like, in my head, I just imagine, like, a dude just, like, folding over in half.
Dude, no, the shock, your brain has to catch up with what happened to the body. Duh.
Brain is what supports the body physically, too.
But yeah, no. I mean,
I got a question, though. So if they're UV bullets, like, the UV light is what kills them, why wouldn't you just, like, use a flashlight as, like, a super death ray then?
Well, no, I assumed that...
I mean, it'd have to be a UV flashlight.
Yeah. That's what... See, I assumed
that... They make UV lights.
Yeah, no, I was kind of wondering what the fuck was special about a UV bullet, but I think that with the bullets, because you can shoot a vampire with a normal ass bullet in this movie, I'm pretty sure. But I think what makes the
Kate
UV
Beckinsale does it greatly.
I think what the UV thing is special is that, I mean, the sun is like UV light.
Right.
Ultraviolet light. So it's like kind of, I just kind of assumed that it was a more like harnessed, compact, like ultraviolet light in a bullet. And so that's why it was just fucking these guys up the second it got into their system. Then it was like, oh, we're fucked.
I guess. I almost figured I'd rather just have a suit on with a bunch of UV lights like taped to me like this.
Like Iron Man
and then
style.
A bunch of babies. Just, nobody hit me.
Well, if you were I Am Number 4, you could just put your little flashlight thing on everybody and you'd be...
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Right.
That movie's
that's
coming
where I got
back. Like, while I was in Florida, I actually saw someone wearing a t-shirt that said I Am Number 4, and I was like...
And you smacked them across the face.
No, I killed them because I had just killed number 3.
Perfect. Another great death.
I was like, found you, bitch.
Another great death was the girl who wanted Kate Beckinsale's blood. She gets it, and she's like super powered. And then she's fighting the main dude who he's one of those guys that looks familiar. And you've seen him and stuff. And he...
Gotcha.
Well, no, he's just one of those guys. He's just a pretty boy 101.
Right.
And he's fighting him, and she like it's one of those classics where he throws a knife and misses, and she goes, "You missed." But he hit a control panel that opens up the blast shield to the windows that go down whenever there's sunrise.
Yeah.
And so the blast shield's opening, and she turns around. And she's like, wait, I have Kate Beckinsale's blood, so I'm gonna test this shit 100% right now. And it opens up.
Definitely the time for that.
It opens up, and she stands there, and she's like, "Oh fuck yeah, I am not disintegrating. I'm alive. Oh, it's working. Fuck yeah!" And then she just gets a sword through her mouth from behind. It was hilarious, and she's dead.
I mean, I figure even vampires die to just a sword through their head.
I mean, the blade comes out of her mouth while she's like, ah. It was great. All right, I'm done with deaths.
Okay. All right, so my usual question, Tyler, what would you have added to the trailer of this movie? Like, what did you see in this movie that you were like, man, if you put that in the trailer, I definitely would have come. I would have voluntarily come to this movie rather than someone making me.
Is it all right if I kind of edit this a little bit? There was definitely a moment where I thought that they could have done something differently that would have been really cool. And I thought, man, that was a missed opportunity.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, so there in that fight that I was just talking about where it was the girl with the Kate Beckinsale's blood and the pretty boy. They were fighting in her like chambers.
Tony Shalhoub, right?
Yeah. Well, it was Tony Shalhoub as Monk.
But wearing a Master Splinter outfit.
Correct. And so you guys saw the movie. But they're fighting, and there's a shot where it's one of those shots where you can kind of see them to the left of the frame, and there's a mirror where you see the reflection, and he bashes her head against the mirror. And so, like, the shot is kind of played off the mirror.
Right.
But you can still kind of see them in frame. And you see him, like, pull her head down in the mirror. And I thought it would have kind of been cool because they're vampires. It would have been cool if there was no reflection but you see her head go down, and then you just see the crack.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I was like, oh, man, that would have been kind of cool to see.
That would have been really cool to see, like...
Not only cool... That's what it should have been.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Also, everything I know about vampires.
yeah, exactly. Everything I know about a fictional creature.
Which is gospel.
Exactly. I was like, oh, man, that was like a little bit of a missed opportunity, especially because of how specific the shot was.
Right.
I feel like it was a missed opportunity where it's like, you could have done something cooler out of this.
I do feel like if you are a person making a vampire movie, you should either embrace
rework
mirrors,
your career.
Embrace mirrors as a thing, or like just avoid them entirely, because that would be a nightmare to have to deal with.
Maybe there was like a line in the first movie where she was like, "We're not normal vampires. We can see our reflection."
No, that wasn't.
Okay, never mind.
But what about in the fourth movie, Charlie?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Scanning database.
I didn't see that one.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Is that Awakening or Rise of the Lycans?
I did see Rise of the Lycans.
So it was Awakening.
Yeah, Rise of the Lycans is 3 because it's like the weird non-main story one, like
that was like a
Furious.
Prequel.
I don't remember. It's just way more werewolves and less vampires.
All right.
Because it shows you the rise of the Lycans.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. They're talking about the moth.
Yeah.
Did we already make one of those jokes last time?
I definitely did.
Probably.
Damn it.
The more the merrier.
Okay, so Charlie, what would you have added to the trailer from the film? Or you know what? Because of what Tyler, were there any missed opportunities? Was there something that happened that you think could have been changed to be a little bit better?
Just like a little simple thing
Yeah.
in a scene or something.
Let me think.
Sorry, that's kind of like a hard question if you're not like.
Yeah, no,
thinking of it.
I just remember thinking that, and I forgot the question was going to be about trailers, but I remember thinking, man, I'm going to bring that up because I feel like that was really just a little missed opportunity that could have just been a tiny little cool thing that so that's why I.
Okay, I mean, this is something I thought would have been cool. So it ends up that in this facility, there are a couple other people that they use the Animus with, but none of them are like direct descendants like he is. That's why he's special. So, he can access memories even farther back. But there are a couple other assassins that are in there, and it would have been cool to see them go into the Animus together, if that makes sense. So you have your ancestors that were working together and see a couple of them in the Animus at the same time. Like he works with other assassins when he goes back in time, but it would have been cool to have them be like all the ancestors of the ones that were there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So out of curiosity, when he's in there, is he just like along for the ride, or does he seem to make decisions? You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of ambiguous because, I mean, he can get hurt from it and stuff, but not in the way that, like, if you get stabbed in it, you get stabbed in real life. It's not like Nightmare on Elm Street or anything. It's more like if you die in there, it'll fuck up your brain so much that you might go into a coma forever, or you might get some sort of mental disorder or something like that. But I think it's kind of like he has the instincts since it's hard coded into his DNA, so it's kind of hard for him to make any decisions of his own will, or it kind of gets into, is that really your free will if it feels like your gut instinct, but is that just like your DNA programming telling you to do that?
Right.
I remember
that makes sense.
In the games, it's like since you're just playing a memory, it's something that has already happened.
Right.
So you can't deviate from that. And if you would in the games, it would be like, oh, hey, this isn't what happened. Back the fuck up. Like, do what happened. Like, so
Okay.
I don't know how they do that in the movie, but yeah.
And it's sort of like that too, where I believe it's like the hard points in time where like a lot of time travel ones, like the big events have to happen a certain way, but if he eats one apple instead of two apples, who
He's
cares?
fucked.
It's not gonna it's not gonna.
There's a tsunami in Japan.
Butterfly effect, dude.
It's like if you do too many things that didn't happen how the memory happened, then you'll get pulled out of the Animus.
This is another side question like Steve had. I think
Sure.
I read this somewhere. Were all the past stuff, was that like subtitled? Was that in a different language?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
actually.
I know
that's
that.
actually
I know
really
that
cool.
I read that the
Yeah,
director.
it was actually kind of nice.
I know the director said he was like, no, yeah, all the past stuff is actually in the language that they would speak. It's gonna be. I was like, oh, that's a cool little
It made
touch.
it feel a lot more authentic than if they would have been in like 1492 Spain speaking English.
Like every time that Tom Cruise is supposed to have like a thing, and he just like speaks English.
Yeah.
Like a true actor.
No, like in Valkyrie, like where everybody else is like British accents, and he's just like normal.
A true
Tom
actor.
Cruise.
Got it. Or in Last Samurai when he's the last samurai, which is just funny enough.
I guess he is American in that movie, though.
True. So I feel like I'm fucking helping Charlie's argument with his movie because I'm asking these questions. So let's move it. So, Steve, what's your next little cue? And we'll give you some A's.
I'm trying. Those are the only two cues I had set to go.
I mean, I'm fine with. If you don't have any specific questions, I'm fine with just kind of giving you some highlights or some.
Yeah. Instead of we're not to final thoughts yet, but give me some highlights.
So,
Tyler, you can go first.
Okay,
on
yeah.
highlights.
So, when they go up to the North Coven with all the ice and everything, they go in there and this one girl has like some weird like materialization powers, like phasing kind of thing. And they're like, okay, what the fuck is this? And they find out that there's this thing where vampires can kind of go into the best way I can kind of explain it. The easiest way is like kind of a Kryptonian healing coma kind of thing.
Thank God
where, like,
that more things.
Oh, yeah.
well, no, I mean that's just the quick because I know you guys like with that and less words. That's the quickest way where like they can die, but if they get to this area quick enough, they can kind of spend time in the afterlife, but not be dead, and then wake up and still be like in. Like have this kind of weird. So so Kate Beckinsale gets killed by the man Lycan, but she gets carried. She was close enough to the coven that she's taken back, and so later she comes back, and she's different because she's got a fur coat on and she's got frosted white bangs.
Oh, thank God.
And
That's one thing
Dude,
that
you should have just said that wax pool from Wanted. Dude, everybody would have known then.
Shit,
Yeah.
you're right. And
if there was one thing I thought that should have been what you said. It should have been in the trailer. it's just Kate Beckinsale in the fur coat.
She enters the scene by just phasing through the coven's like main hall and snapping Lycan's necks like left. You're just like you see this way, and everybody's like, "What the fuck?" and this is meanwhile while like some Lycans have this turret up that's just shooting at the blast shields that are down and opening them up, and so like vampires are just getting fucked up left and right because they're just shooting open these things like, oh shit, like disintegrating instantly. And it's kind of fun. And you find out Pretty Boy is like he's the last pure blood vampire, so he's like actually next to heir in the throne of all the vampire stuff.
All right.
Because the last girl who was a pure blood, they didn't know she actually had a child. It was like in secret. But then in this movie, you can like taste somebody's. If you're a vampire, you can have somebody's blood, and you see kind of like fragments of their memories.
Okay, all right.
So
So
they-
like iZombie?
Sure, I've never seen that, but yes.
It's a good show.
And he uses that as proof. Like, he's like, hey, yeah, my mom gave me, like, when he finds out he has this little vial of blood that he takes a little bit of, and it shows the memories. And so he's like, oh shit, this is all true. I should probably accept this fate. And then he comes to the council, and they're like, this is a lie. And he's like, here you go. And they all take little shots, and like, well, fuck, he's right. And
Turned up.
yeah, and so that was kind of a highlight, I guess. That story coming to fruition of just the Covenant, the vampires end up winning essentially. It's kind of funny because when they hold the head up, they're like, "Hey, fucking leave." Your leader's dead, and some of the Lycans just look up and they're like, "Ah, shit." And they just walk out. And they're like, "Hey!"
Vampire Yahtzee.
And the head Lycan had a relationship with one of the vampire recruits in the Coven, and she got killed real quick.
Ooh.
Which is funny because like the main girl that was trying to steal the blood, she was like, "You didn't think I knew you were fucking tall? Like this, I used you as part of my plan. I'm not a fucking idiot." And
All right, fair enough.
yeah, and I know you were wondering this, Steve. She shoots a circle around herself and falls through within the first 30 seconds.
Fuck yeah, dude.
But if they do it in 30 seconds, that means there's plenty of time to do it again. Mm-hmm. So when did it happen the second time?
I think you need to watch the movie to know.
It's even better when she shoots a hole in the ceiling and jumps up and pushes the concrete out.
She definitely throws some ninja stars.
Are any of those ninja stars words?
Yes, you see it, and you do see the classic, like it says Underworld, and then all the letters like turn, and then somehow make the two words Blood Wars with the space, and then that goes away. It's like, oh, sweet.
Yeah. You know, fuck you.
No, it was a lot of fun. It was
All right.
yeah.
Charlie, highlights?
Okay, I was very genuinely happy with the chase scenes and stuff. The best thing that I could describe the chase scenes as to something like the most recent movie I've seen is like the beginning of Casino Royale.
That's honestly, when you were saying chasing, that's like the first thing that I thought of.
And granted, there's less cranes because there weren't cranes like that.
Oh, so
but
not
other
like
than that, as far as like busting through buildings and stuff, that stuff was really cool. And they did, I know some of it's obviously fake and CGI, but they did do a lot of practical stuff with the running that was cool. And it was nice to see some of the stuff with the video game, like nods where they're jumping on the wall, where they're holding and then jump and spin around and grab the wall and go, boom, boom, boom,
Right.
up and up and up. And let's see, the chase scenes were really good. I was pleasantly surprised with the combat, because that's one thing where it's like you really should make this good in this movie, because that's essentially what 90% of the games are. Well, I guess there are lots of free running too, but
I think that's
the
what
combat
made
and stuff.
Yeah, that's what made some of the better games good, when you could smoothly chain like combat stuff together, like counters,
yeah.
and just and you'd have like a group of people around you, and you parry one guy, and then you just chain that to like assassinating and shooting like
Yeah,
everybody
And it
else
was good,
around
too,
you.
Since they're the only like firearms they have were crossbows, and they show a guy shoot it, and then he's like, well shit,
yeah.
He just like, throws it to the ground because you don't have time to reload another bolt. But it was nice then too, having combat scenes again where
because
guys
he's not
didn't
Norman
really have
Reedus.
guns, so it's not the thing where 10 guys run up with guns and just get knocked out. When it's like, okay, just stand back and shoot this piece of shit. No, they all have hand-to-hand weapons and stuff. So the combat was really cool. And I did actually like there was a decent amount of ambiguity as far as, are we really supposed to root for this guy? Because Mike Fassbender's character is kind of a piece of shit. And that some of the stuff he learns there are other assassins there, and they're trying to tell him like, hey man, they just want you to find this apple of Eden, and they're going to try and fuck over the world pretty much. And of course, the Templars are saying the reverse to him, like, hey, these guys are just trying to mislead you and everything. And his life is so screwed, and he's dead technically to the outside world. He's eventually just like, fuck it, I'm just going to give him the apple because I don't give a shit, and I just want to see this whole thing crumble. And he eventually makes a change and stuff, and
Well, of course, it's a movie.
sides of the assassins. Yeah.
Character growth.
But he isn't then like, let's go save the world
Yeah.
with this thing. It's more like, this is my responsibility now to take this but I'm not necessarily going to use it, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It might be good, might be bad, but I just don't want them to have it, at least.
Right. Okay.
So I would say, as far as not just making it look like these are the bad guys and these are the good guys.
It is nice to not have like just a cringy, over the top like oh man, these are definitely the terror. Like in a lot of movies today, they're like really not subtle about like the enemy. Totally not terrorists, wink, wink.
I mean, the Templar symbol is the swastika with 666 around it. So
and penises.
It's really ambiguous.
Yeah, no, they kind of do the same thing with Underworld, where in the fact that, I mean, Kate Beckinsale and the dude with her they're really only ever the good guys. Like, the Coven... Right. Has enough like people that are kind of fucked up and they're like, fuck you, Kate Beckinsale, that it's like, okay, are they the good, like how good are they? And then obviously the Lycans are all just like, oh, we want to kill every vampire ever.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, no, I understand what you mean, Charlie, where it's nice when it's not just, hey, here you go, here's good, here's evil, and go.
And one other thing I do like about it, and I like it about the games too, is I love it when a fictional, I don't know, game or movie or anything takes sort of mythology or old religion and kind of tie it into their own mythos. So kind of like with Raiders of the Lost Ark, where I guess the Ark of the Covenant's like a real thing and it actually has these powers and stuff. I like that. Then this relic, the Apple of Eden, isn't an actual apple, and it's not exactly how the Bible describes it, but it is a relic that has some sort of power. If that makes sense, that's kind of cool. Then the potential where you can go from there.
Okay. So, I'll start with you, Charlie, now that because of this. Final thoughts of the movie?
I thought was that what we just did.
Yeah,
right?
that was kind of final thoughts.
Yeah, more or less kind of
highlights or whatever. That kind of rolled into final thoughts for sure.
Well,
do you have anything else to add though, Charlie? I guess that you want to throw out there.
I did think a whole bunch of Wolverine the whole time. Anybody pop their blades though, and just like snick. Because it happens a lot.
And on that note, I also did think, man, everybody just has a lot of guns. Killing Lycans and vampires is a lot easier than I would have expected.
Beckinsale is the best at using two guns, though, at the same time.
Using two big guns. There's also a scene when she sets him up for... the girl sets her up for killing all those people, somebody picks up a gun on the floor, and it's like a huge silver gun, and he goes, "This is her gun, isn't it?"
Says BFG on it.
All right, so honestly, I'm having a tough time on this one.
Yeah.
Wow, the confidence in your voice. Now.
No,
oh, really? It's a tough one for
I'm like,
you?
it's a tough one because Assassin's Creed sounds terrible. And
I would see both of them.
Okay, so it's tough for me because like there were a couple scenes that Tyler described that sound like really awesome to watch, like especially that phasing neck snapping thing.
It's like Zoom from The Flash.
Well, I didn't mention it. The way she punches through his back is because she has this phasing power. So she like essentially phases through his back and then just rips out his spine.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it was all brute strike.
Well, they're vampire. I honestly didn't know that, and I was just like, yeah, vampires, whatever, they can do that shit. But then like so that sounds cool, and it sounds like there were another couple like pretty sweet fight scenes actually from Tyler's. But it sounds like some good fight scenes as well as some cool chase scenes from Charlie's.
I feel like they were evenly matched. I think.
Yeah, I feel like this was a good matchup. Mm-hmm. So,
one of us should have had why him. Really, that would have been.
yeah. Well, no, that would have been a runaway victory. I'm surprised we all just didn't watch that on our own free time.
Yeah, I didn't.
Steve, how long do we have to stall for you to think of one?
I think I'm gonna go with Assassin's Creed.
Ah, you son of a bitch!
It was close. It was much closer than you think it is. It was real close.
All right. Okay.
But honestly, when it came down to it, the addition of the chase the chase scenes to the fight scenes
Okay.
is what put it over.
I
'Cause,
thought you were
like,
saying the addition of The Chase, the game show starring the Beast.
No, I was actually
Yeah.
referring to the 1990s movie The Chase with Charlie Sheen.
Oh shit, that's in Assassin's Creed. They're just like, hey, have you seen The Chase?
And they just play it.
He has to relive his ancestor watching that.
Just, oh, The Chase. No, because I really do like those like cool like free run chase scenes.
Because you're a nerd.
Yeah, because I'm a nerd. that tipped the scale for Charlie on this one.
Fair enough. So, do you want to go into, I guess, real thoughts here?
So we'll start with you, Tyler.
Okay.
Tyler, real thoughts?
I feel like I've probably said this about a lot of movies, but I really cannot think of another descriptor for this film other than the fact that, and I mean this just by the most outright definition of the word and just plain out, this movie was dumb. This was just so dumb. It was so boring and it was so stupid and it was just, I mean, I had to make up an explanation as to how she came back to life because they didn't give it to you.
Wait, so was there a pit? Or
No, there was. This is the explanation the movie gave. She walks into the place, and this is where you see one nip in the background as the girl's like mummifying this other girl. You see a little nip in the background. I'm like, really? R-rated movie? You could have given me more nips.
a little nip.
and it's in the distance. So she's wrapping her up, and Kate Beckinsale's like, "Oh shit, is she dead?" And the girl goes,
now.
No, she goes, "No." She's like, oh, okay, so she's not dead. She's in between. And she goes, oh, okay, so, like, what does that mean? It means she's in between.
Does she really use that cadence?
Yes, it's like, it's almost like
She says it twice?
Yeah, it's almost like a smug, like, she's in between. Like
you don't know any information on this, but I'm not going to tell you, and I'm going to lord it over the fact that I know
and
you don't.
her explanation is essentially, if you were like, hey man, why did you go there? And you said, because I went. And you said, yeah, but were you there? And you said, because I was there. That was like the explanation as to any of the, and that
I'm
is
hungry. Why else do you go to Wendy's?
Yeah,
Jesus.
it's like, hey, why did you go to Wendy's? Because I wanted food. Well, why did you want food? Well, because I wanted Wendy's. It's like, wait, no, I don't. It was just like a weird. I know that wasn't a good explanation, but it was just this
that actually
weird,
moved away from Urkel.
Yeah, no.
Where in the real world, someone would go, "Fuck off."
No, but I mean, it wasn't even. I went to Wendy's because I was hungry. It was just I went to Wendy's because you know what I mean. Like it wasn't a actual answer to the question. It was just, oh, I'm repeating.
It was when people. It's like those things that happen in movies where people just try to be like really deep.
Yeah, and
or like vague because they think it's deep.
She just repeated what like was said, but in a different way, and then that was it. And that was all that was touched on. And you don't know. You're like, oh, wait. So does that mean you get powers from that? I don't. And then Kate Beckinsale dies, and she slides herself underneath this like ice water, and then all of a sudden gets pulled into and mummified. And then later she comes back with that wool coat and frosted bangs. But another part that was just, by the way, by the end of it, when that lady got stabbed through the mouth, I was just laughing out loud. And I think that it started triggering other people to start laughing because, like, by the end of the movie, other people were like, so the people that sat right next to me were just kind of like, dude, what's funny about somebody getting stabbed through the mouth? It's like, it's goofy looking. Anyway, there's a scene at the beginning of the movie, which the first, 3 minutes is just straight exposition.
Because they have to fit in 4 movies worth of information into the beginning because they're like, it's very likely that someone will see this movie without seeing it.
Well, and not only that, but throughout the movie, they, repeat names in a unnatural way to make you, oh, your daughter, Eve. And she's like, yes, Eve, my daughter. Like that's like stuff like that, and who even knows that's her name? I don't fucking remember. But there's a
Just to help you remember the character.
there's a scene early on where she's like at the very beginning she's like fighting off these lycans, and then Pretty Boy comes along and saves her, and he like Rogue Lycan who they thought they killed like gets up and shoots him, and he's like, oh fuck, and so she doesn't kill that Lycan, she like shoots him in the feet and is like, hey, go tell your head Lycan dude. Like, why are you after me? And he's like, oh, we want to know where your daughter is to get her blood. And she's like, okay, well, go tell him I have no idea where she is. Like, because I knew this was going to happen, so I don't know where she is. And he's like, okay. And of course, later he's like, he's like, she doesn't know where she is. And the
He's like, he knows, and then shoots that dude.
Well, no, the head Lycan's like, and you believed her. and then later,
to be fair, that's a reasonable.
And then later, the one girl like the one rogue vampire tastes her blood, and she's like, "Oh yeah, she's telling the truth." And the Lycan's like, "Fuck!" But this scene, so that guy gets shot, and then she's like, "Oh, I got to take you to my little like hideout to heal you up." And so they're at the hideout, next little shot.
She dumps in the Lazarus pit.
She's investigating the wound, and he goes, what is it? And she goes, I don't know. It's some kind of bullet or something.
Well, yeah, it came from a gun.
Which was insane to me. Of course it was some kind of bullet or something. That's almost as like if she would have said, I don't know, I think it might have been some type of projectile. Like it was clearly a bullet. Like what but
and you could even say that line and have it make sense if you're like, well, it's some kind of bullet. Like if you're implying like, well, duh, but if you're like, it's some kind of bullet.
No, yeah, she was
stroke your beard.
She was serious. And also there was a lot of slow motion grunting at one another. There was
slow motion
Nice.
grunting?
like as in there was like this everything would go in slow motion and two people would start running at each other, and then it would show like Kate Beckinsale and she would be like and then it would cut to the Lycan dude and he'd go and it would go back and forth for like a minute of them just like slow motion grunting at one another.
You didn't see this in D-Box, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Just the full experience. The chair is shaking around, and I feel the hot breath on my face.
NC-17.
You could because that guy was sitting directly next to you.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I sat in a theater, a row by myself, and this guy sits right next to me. But
that's fucked up.
Yeah, no, it's like, come on, dude, move over one. But no, I mean, I feel like I did a decent job of trying to make this movie sound kind of cool.
It was close. I legitimately almost.
It was just dumb. I almost fell asleep a couple times. It was just so stupid. I'm sure I'm missing some stuff that I was like, this makes no sense to me. And I mean, there were no stakes either. Like, I mean, vampire pun here. There were no stakes in the movie.
I was thinking like raw stakes for the werewolves.
No, like
that's a Lycan pun.
Yeah. Well, as in, I thought about it while I was watching the movie. I was like, why do I care if either of these factions win or lose?
Because humanity.
No, because
life hangs in the balance.
But they never say that. To me, it's like the way the movie places it. It's just these two factions are at war, and one's gonna get extinct. And I was thinking, what?
So?
Yeah, I was like, I mean, is it really that bad if all vampires get extinct? Is it really that bad if all Lycans get extinct? I mean,
it's a win-win either way.
Yeah, I was like, why do I care if the vampires lose? Like I don't know what they don't do anything for us. They're not a contributing faction to society. They're just they recruit people who eat blood. Like,
hey, who do you think made your hoodie, dude?
Oh shit. Well, then vampires are contributing a lot. Yeah, no, I thought that. I was like, that's probably why I was like bored, because I was like, I have no connection to anything. Like, right. I don't care at all. But
they could have at least made a prophecy saying, like, if the Lycans take over, then some planet goes into alignment with the sun, and whatever.
There could have even been a throwaway line of like, well, yeah, I mean, how the vampires have been this intricate in all of humanity's history, and we help shape in the background. Nope, nothing. Just
all right.
Yeah, it was dumb.
All right, Charlie, real thoughts.
Okay, so I had listened to Three Wise review of this beforehand, so my expectations were very low for this movie. I was expecting it to be so terrible. I ended up not thinking it was not even close to that bad or as bad as the Rotten Tomatoes percentage was. And really, you leave the movie just with disappointment because Tyler and I know at least the Assassin's Creed story is great, at least for the first couple games. It's awesome.
It's rocky.
I mean, I think it
has some definite high points, but it also has some low points.
Yeah, I guess, but what I'm saying is like there's potential there with that franchise because with the game definitely. You can cut out a lot of dumb side missions and crap like that, and you can just take the meat of the story and make something amazing out of it. And that's what it seems like they tried to do here. They didn't quite execute on it. I think it would have been better if you would have gone with Desmond's story because you definitely care about him more than Callum. Although Callum was still interesting to me. I actually feel like I could watch more. It was just sort of disappointing still because there's so much potential with this franchise, in my opinion, that it really could have been something special. There were still good parts. I still like the fight scenes. I still like the chase scenes and stuff. The only one dumb part of the chasing I didn't like was when somebody grinded with their feet down a rope. Ugh. But whatever.
Dude, did they just sick 180 afterwards?
Were they wearing Vans or soap shoes?
They were wearing some sweet soap shoes, dude. They were soaping that rope hard.
Well, it's the Assassin's gear, is hidden blades and soap shoes.
I mean, you go into a movie, the lowest expectations yield the highest results.
Yeah, but they did have moments and stuff. They kept true to certain parts that I liked. That they should have kept true to more of it. But even the details, like when he becomes the assassin, they put the thing on and cut his fingers off, his middle fingers off, or whichever one it is, to shove his blades through, stuff like that, and show how dedicated they are to the cause. There wasn't really a love interest. It's a dude and a chick. Those are the main two assassins, and the throwback, like the flashback parts of it. Uh-huh. And think for a second that they're gonna get together, but because she's about to die, and she's like, "No, we're assassins, so don't shed any tears for me." And he's like, okay, and then she fucking dies, like sacrifices herself, and then he goes. But it was nice to see that instead of him like no, and go do his own thing. But no, he obviously cared for it because he wanted to save her every time. Huh?
Like forcing a romantic relationship for no reason into the movie. It's like it is nice when you're like when you go into a movie and you see two characters like, oh, they're gonna get together for no apparent reason, and like if it doesn't happen, you're like, sweet, finally.
Yeah, and this movie also suffered a little bit from simultaneously trying to cram too much into it while also not being able. There wasn't enough to, if that makes sense, because there's so much to all this with the other assassins there. That didn't bother me because I kind of wanted to see more about them as well. But this is something where you need like a full trilogy to go into a lot of this stuff. So you really could have focused with, to me, just the first person. And then introduce the other assassins at the very end. Like he breaks out a part of the facility or sneaks out at one point and sees that there are a bunch of other people doing this stuff as well. Note, there is a guy that falls into a hay bale when he gets thrown off of a wall, and he does the plop like poof into it. It's just some guard. But then the section where he does the leap of faith.
Yeah.
So he jumps off. I mean, a super high distance. Crazy high because it's the only real leap of faith in the movie where the lady marrying Italia Al Ghul says like, oh my god, the leap of faith, because the Animus is thrusting him down so far that it breaks the range of the Animus, and the Animus breaks while it's on him and shuts down, and he lands, and then everything starts going kind of crazy, that was kind of cool to see the Animus break, and that's what helped signify that like he has true heritage because he was able to completely sync up with that kind of moment.
All right.
But he did jump
into practically killing yourself.
He didn't jump into a hay bale.
No, he jumped into water.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Which at that
I mean at that height, yeah, but still like given the video game lore, it almost never makes sense for them to jump into a fucking hay bale. But come on, somebody jump in there.
That would be great. Oh, so many good eagle screeches too. But ultimately just disappointing. But if it were on Netflix, I'd toss it on for something to watch.
All right.
But I had such low expectations. It was like, I left it just being like, damn, there's a great movie somewhere in the Assassin's Creed storyline.
Well, yeah, especially since it wasn't a adaptation of the game. It was a part. It was. I mean, it was supposed to be part of the universe. You know, so like, there's definitely a window of opportunity to have the story continued in movie form, like on the side, but also be a part of the overarching story. Like, that's an interesting concept to me.
Kind of like the way
it just sounds like they didn't execute it very well.
Well, the only thing I would like it to be, it's its own thing, because with Desmond, I think that's some of the most interesting part. Like, you get the cool history stuff, but then the background story. If I were somebody else and he's not as important as Desmond to it all, that's what I want to see, is Desmond's story with all the crazy shit with like the gods and stuff.
Yeah, Steve, what were you saying? It was kind of like
how the Force Unleashed is like part of the Star Wars lore now,
aside,
but it's like not in the main storyline.
Yeah, I got you. There's definitely some stuff in the Force Unleashed that cannot be canon, because I think kill the Emperor at the end of the first one.
Because now that they're expanding the original universe again, it does, like back when it was going to stop at 6 and things, when the books and the game could be official canon, that's fine. But now, the fact that 7, 8, and 9 are coming out kind of throws a lot of that out.
Yeah, well, I think that game was still kind of like not, because I think it was something where you could pick the ending, where you could like join the Emperor, but like one of the endings you could pick was kill the Emperor, and it was before. Like,
that's weird.
So yeah, like if you kill the Emperor, it's like, well, this isn't canon.
well, I guess in some things they're like this is canon, but only this.
No. I totally get what you're saying. It's a side story that can be a part of the universe, but I totally get it. Yeah, there was definite potential there, and on the on Rotten Tomatoes, Assassin's Creed scored a 16% out of 147 reviews. 24 were fresh, and 123 were rotten. The critics' consensus is Assassin's Creed is arguably better made and certainly better cast than most video game adaptations. Unfortunately, the CGI-fueled end result still is a joyless, overplotted slog, and yes, still is there twice right after one another. I almost tripped up over that. I would agree with most of that, except for, I mean, there were some obvious CGI parts when they do like huge cityscapes and the eagle flying, where you're kind of following it and seeing where it's going. But other than that, I mean, it seemed fine to me. Well, I don't think it was saying that the CGI was bad. It was just saying that there's just like CGI fueled. So it's like its main fuel is CGI. It's not anything, like it's
I guess. But
yeah, I know.
I mean, a lot of scenes are just them in rooms.
There's no reason for the overt hate of CGI a lot of the times, because CGI can be, I mean, it's there all the time, and it's pretty good. It's great when you don't notice it too. Like, people think that, anyway, go on a rant there. But some reviews are an overcast video game movie is a rotten review. A WoW video game adaptation revolving around some Knights Templar nonsense.
That sounds like someone who knows nothing about the video game.
I mean, I guess it's right.
Preposterous, underplotted, and surprisingly dull. Here's a positive one: a pathetic and senseless spectacle that is backed by a banal and ridiculous story.
You said that was a
that
positive?
Is a positive.
Those are my favorites.
I mean, don't get me wrong; it still wasn't a good movie, but it's just like, damn, come on.
Here's the last rotten one I'll read. The movie spirals into the elaborate illogic of the video game on which it's based. So again, that is at a 16% out of over almost 150 reviews. And then we got, I didn't expect this. Underworld Blood.
No one did after what you said.
Yeah, Underworld Blood Wars is at a 22%, but it has about a little bit under 100 less reviews. It's sitting at 41 reviews total, 9 fresh, 32 rotten. Critics' consensus is Underworld Blood Wars delivers another round of the stylized violence that the series is known for, but like many fifth franchise installments, I'm sorry, Fast 5 is amazing, offers precious little of interest to the unconverted. So yeah, I guess
that's fair.
It's fair enough. Yeah, I was not interested at all.
I mean, you're one of the few people that probably saw that as their first one, who wasn't just going there to do drugs or have sex in the theater.
True. Yeah, the couple next to me was just going at it. They were just snorting coke off each other's boobs, and one was a guy, but.
And the other was too.
Yeah, they were both guys. Well, no, they were doing it. One was doing off one boobs, and the other one was just doing off the dude's dick. So it was just like a perfect line.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little weird because they were like doing it right in front of me. Anyway, one of the
Right next to you. Come on.
one of the positive reviews is Kate Beckinsale is reason enough to go see this movie. That sounds kind of creepy, especially since especially since this guy, Steve, you can see this picture. This guy is an old man.
But yeah.
Put on that latex suit real nice and slow like.
That dude just rated a movie at over what, 60%?
Yeah.
He rated it at over 60% personally because Kate Beckinsale.
A rotten review is, this is clearly one franchise that's been fully drained of its blood.
Because vampires. Got it.
Whatever's
That sucks. Hey.
This movie sucks. I'm surprised that's not one of the reviews. Whatever's vibrating on your phone is more interesting than what's on screen.
Wow.
Damn.
Shit. That was a straight roast. Let's read this long one. For the most part, there's little to care about. Samara surfaces as the one potential source of campy fun in the film, but she's quickly ground down by the story. Steve, I can't read. I don't know if I've ever seen that word. What the fuck?
I can't
machinations?
see. So.
Machinations? I don't even know what that means. The story machinations and the fight scenes are so choppily edited that they barely register at all. I'm sure some people are listening like, wow, you've never heard of machinations before? That is,
I think it's machinations.
Machination? I will openly admit I've never seen that word.
It's
before.
machinations.
It is mach?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does it
okay.
mean?
I know the word. I just can't think of the pronunciation.
Let's learn Tyler right now. What does that mean?
It's just like the
movements, like
like the things that people are trying to do. So like usually you hear about machinations in like intrigue plots and stuff.
Okay.
You know,
like the elements of it, the tools that move it forward and stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, learn something new every day. I'm surprised that I've never seen that word before. Anyway,
it's usually about people like
the epitome of
of hyperbole.
Yeah, the epitome of hyperbole is here's another positive review. By default, this is the best Underworld yet. I don't understand.
What does that even mean? By default?
Because it's the newest one?
Best effects? I don't know. I would think older ones probably would. Probably more money into them.
Yeah. And while the storyline may not be offering much that's new, fans of the stylized action will find the violence worth sinking their teeth into. Boo again.
Get out.
Jesus Christ. Man, they're
garlic. Hey,
cross. I bet you they're just like, oh, we get to review a vampire movie. What can I say that is?
Let me get my thesaurus.
Why do you need a
like,
thesaurus?
hey, did you see the movie yet? Nope, but my review's already written.
So those are those movies. Man, this movie was so dumb, Steve. I can't believe I saw this movie.
Okay, so I didn't think about this until after.
Of course you didn't.
Until after I was driving home last week, and I didn't want to say anything until now.
Are you vaping, Charlie? What is that?
I'm just smelling a pack of gum I have. It's pineapple. It's super good.
But as I was going home, I was thinking, this is our 21st episode.
It is. We are officially.
But you know what that means? When you counted up our scores, I had an extra game. I had an extra view than either of you guys. So as of last week, I had seen 14 movies, and you guys had seen 13 movies.
Really?
Which technically means Charlie wins now.
No. I mean, the year's over, man.
But technically, we tied on me at an advantage.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Hey, I mean, I guess that's what happens when we're counting. We started 3 months in. 4 months in,
and it'll probably be a little bit more even this year. I don't know if it'll. I'm sure someone will still have. Because it's got to be.
Thanks again, Tyler Perry, you piece of shit.
We're gonna do another Tyler Perry episode.
Which
this time it's gonna
won't count.
It's gonna be Alex Cross versus Gone
Jesus.
Girl. That's the only other Tyler Perry movie I can think of. But Gone Girl's actually good.
Gone Girl is good.
Is there another? Can you think of another Tyler Perry movie? Besides Medea,
no.
Alex Cross, and Gone Girl.
Oh, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too. But we already reviewed that.
Shit! You're right. He was in that movie.
We've all seen that.
Yeah, we have, so that would win.
No, I mean it couldn't win because we couldn't use it because we've seen it.
True. Man, he was in that movie. He played.
Baxter Stockman.
I was gonna say he played Whoopi Goldberg's character from the first movie. Steve's just looking at me so like, really?
I am at a loss.
So, do we do anything else on this?
We do shout out to our homies.
That's right. To the homies. Insane Clown Posse. We got some juggalos listening that'll get that.
I hope so.
That'll get that.
I hope to God
that will get
so.
that reference, and they'll be like, "Oh!" we'll be playing at every gathering of the Juggalos for man. That would be millions of downloads. I'm sorry, tens of downloads. Once a year.
I'm down.
We would perform live at the gathering of the Juggalos while they're throwing hatchets at us. So
Sounds like our fantasy.
So thanks very much to Jeremy Lamb for the theme song. By this time, I don't know if you're listening to this the second it came out. I don't know if you'll be seeing it right now, but on the Thursday that this comes out, our logo should be changing. We should have a brand new logo, and it has been designed by a friend of the podcast, Scott Blackwell. Great graphic designer and
Excellent artist. He's definitely.
Yeah, the logo looks great.
Definitely someone to look out for.
We're super excited for you guys to see it. So if you have not seen it yet and you're listening to this podcast, I would say go check out the Facebook because it will be our profile picture.
will
I didn't even take a day off work.
Yeah,
will
just to
probably be
ingest it all.
It's probably gonna be my cover photo on Facebook. Just
no,
because-
it's great. It's
Because
great.
my cover photo's dumb right now.
Well, yeah, I mean we're not in it, so.
Actually, I don't know what my cover photo is.
I think it's Fry.
I think it still
jumping
is Fry,
Philip J. Fry.
which I changed right before that show ended.
Yeah, I know. I remember vividly. Anyway, check out that new logo. I mean, seriously, like it's great. I'm really psyched about it. So please, if you're a fan of the show, which I mean, I guess you are if you're listening.
If you've made it this far, I'm assuming.
Please check it out. I think you'll be excited to see some actual, time spent into a logo for this, which the current logo, no time was spent in making.
Yes.
Keep listening. Keep, checking out the socials, Facebook, Twitter. Where 3 Wise is on YouTube, so we post on there. So check us out. And other than that, do you guys have anything to add about anything? Is there anything coming up for you guys? I don't know if Charlie, are you going to be on 3 Wise? I know I was on the annual, which was two weeks ago for the annual. So if you have not listened to that episode, I would say go check it out. We had a lot of fun talking about the year of 2016. Other than that,
Most of those
I
guys
don't know if I'm
know
gonna
me,
be
so
on
I'm not
soon.
gonna
I'll be on
there.
for Wonder Woman for sure, but I don't know.
That's not until May,
Like,
June,
yeah.
something like that. You'll probably, because you're the DC guy they typically have on. And then Steve, you got anything coming up in the pipelines? Anything you want?
No, I'm pretty busy right now with school. So like I would like to do more of anything, but like I pretty much only have time on my schedule to get this down.
I'll say right now it's a couple months away, but we are planning on, if you are in the St. Louis area, we are planning on being at WizardCon.
Wizard World.
Wizard
St.
World
Louis.
Con. It's in April, so we're not going to be performing there, but we are going to be there, and we might be wearing movie versus garb. So just come check us out, introduce yourselves. I mean, we're more than happy to meet fans. We'll talk you up. We'll hang out. We'll
gladly
there.
take pictures of you.
Yeah. I mean, I'll gladly just go to the bathroom with your camera for a while and then give it back to you without telling you what I took pictures of. And
We'll figure it out shortly.
I will not do these things. I'm the one you can trust. The face of movie versus you can trust. Steve Janik.
You should put that on your shirt. But other than that,
with my face,
hands, you can't.
Other than that, we'll probably keep reminding the listeners out there, especially in the St. Louis area, that we'll be there. That's not for a few months away. So,
yeah.
But we're pretty much decided that we're going to at least be there on the Saturday of the con. So yeah, it's always a good time. Go out there, look for us. If you don't find us, going to the con is still fun. So
it's a good time.
What did you say, Charlie?
I said we'll find you.
Oh yeah. Oh, we will. But yeah,
post to our Facebook. Drop a pin.
yeah. Hey, we might as well, if we're there, we might do a live Facebook stream. Who knows? If we're around each other. Other than that,
sure, why not?
Yeah. So check out the socials, do all that. Bye.
Movie Versus is a production of Three Wise Media. For more information, check us out on Facebook.